Have you ever wondered if other people's opinions or judgments actually impact you in any way? Do they actually affect you in any way, right? And I'm talking about judgments from the people around you, from your workmates, it doesn't matter. Do they actually impact who you are? More on this in this video, but first of all, welcome to my channel. My name is Eva. I'm an intuitive healer. I work with two modalities. One which is based on working with the Akashic records, it's called Soul Relevant. And the second one is called Quantum Flow, which is all about rewiring your nervous system and helping you release all those blockages and all those limiting patterns within your unconscious mind, which a lot of people don't even know that these patterns are actually impacting how you create your external reality. But if you're curious about these two beautiful modalities and how they can actually help you accelerate your own healing journey and your whole growth and transformation, I'm going to be sharing more on these two services at the end of this video. Okay, so I love starting my videos by sharing my lessons of the week. And if you're watching this, I love to know, how have you grown in the last 1 week? Have you grown in the last 1 day? Does not matter. In the last month, in the last year, I don't care. Share your lessons in the comments down below, because I believe that we can learn so much from each other, from each other's perspectives, from each other's experiences, and all of that. Whatever lesson you've learned in the last week, please do share with us in the comment section down below. Okay. So my lesson for the week was not taking people or things for granted. And which actually ties so well with what we're going to be talking about, which is about judging other people. Have you ever gone through an experience where maybe, and let's look at the workplace, right? Like maybe someone is doing certain tasks and they're not doing it to the perfection or the level of perfection that you'd want for them to do that task. So it's easy for you to, be passing judgment on that person and say, you should be doing this like this, you should be talking to the client like this, you should be working like this, and all of that. But if you have not been in that person's shoes, do you know that that particular judgment is not justified in any way? And I'm talking up from experience, because I remember the previous work that I used to do. There's a lot of expectations that was given to us who are at the low level by management, which is good. Expectations are good. You have to set goals, you have to set all those things, right? But there was a lot that was expected of the people who are working in the customer service and all of that. There's a lot that was expected of them. And to be honest, it got too much, because sometimes you literally go an entire day without actually eating something, without actually getting out of your desk, because you're so busy on phone calls, you're doing transactions on the systems and all of that. Like you'd be so busy, but you were still expected to deliver in terms of sales and all of that. Sometimes it got overwhelming, but trying to make these people understand that, like things are not as easy as they assumed it to be was difficult, because none of them actually experienced that level of, I want to say that kind of work. So it's easy for you to pass judgment on another person on how they're meant to be operating in life if you haven't experienced what they go through in a day-to-day basis. And I had to learn this the last week, okay? So if you've ever gone through, having someone helping out with the household chores and all of that, and then now you having to take over that role, right? It's very easy for you to judge them for not having finished a certain task on any given day, right? But until you actually get down on the ground and actually experience what they have to go through, you won't be able to understand from their point of view. And I hope I'm making sense with what I'm sharing. So my lesson for the week was that if you've not gone through something, please reserve your judgment. Okay? If you haven't actually undertaken that task, don't come there and expect someone to do things to a certain level of perfection that you have in your mind and then judge them for falling short of that. That's a really unfair and fair thing to do, because until you actually walk a mile in that person's shoes, you'll never know what they go through. And remember that even if you walked a mile in their shoes, remember everyone is different. So what you're capable of handling is not what this other person is capable of handling. So again, if you have not gone through a certain, whatever it is, if you haven't gone through a certain life experience, if you haven't gone down on the ground and put your task, like yourself to that task, don't pass judgment on how other people choose to carry out the same task or how other people choose to go through that particular life experience. You love and accept them. Okay? And that was my lesson for the week. And I have to say that it has helped me build a certain level of appreciation for the kind of service that these people provide for us. I never knew that until I had to do it myself and actually experience it. And I only got a small taste of what they go through. So it has really, really humbled me to never, never take anything for granted, to literally put myself in that person's shoes. So even if they don't meet my expectations, because now I've gone through that experience, I'm never going to pass that judgment on them. So that was my lesson for the week. Okay. And please let me know what you think about that in the comment section down below. And also, again, share your lesson. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about, do other people's opinions have to define who you are? Okay. And I'm sharing this because I was listening to a beautiful podcast from an amazing woman. She's called Kathleen Cameron. I hope I said that name right. But she was sharing that one of her friends was actually giving her feedback about who she was as a person and telling her that she tends to trigger some people in her life because she's very money oriented. She's always talking about wealth creation, abundance creation, and all of that. And for some of her friends, they got triggered by that because they start judging her that she's too, focused on money. She doesn't care about anything else. Now, what Kathleen was sharing was that if she did not know who she was, that particular comment will have really messed her up. Okay, she didn't say that, but she was saying that she actually sat down with this particular comment and reflected on it and actually determined that, you know what, I do love being wealthy because I know the kind of freedom that having money gives me. So why would I feel bad about having money? Because essentially the people who are judging her are people who've not actually experienced that level of wealth. And this actually ties beautifully with what I want to talk about today. So when someone is judging you or sharing their opinion of you, remember it's most likely never a reflection of who you are. It's most likely a reflection of their own inner judgments about themselves and how they see the world. Someone who views the world or sees or believes that the world is just full of lies and thieves and all of that, guess what? The external reality will always be a reflection of their internal judgment. So they'll never see people who are not thieves or liars around them because their entire perspective is that everyone lies, everyone steals. So anyone they meet, even if that person is not even a tiny fraction of what they believe people to be, they're never going to see it. So for them, anyone they encounter will always be a liar and always be a thief. So when they're pressing that judgment on you, remember, most likely it's more of a reflection of who they are. It's just coming out as judgment of you. They're projecting their internal judgment of themselves to you. So what do you do in that case? That if someone is sharing their opinion, first of all, let's have that awareness that, hey, chances are this person is mostly talking about themselves, not about me. Most people, what they normally do is that when someone shares that judgment, they take it so personally. And for some people, it can really mess them up when they care so much about how other people view them, which is okay. It's normal. I think that's how we were designed. Remember, we still have that survival tribe-like mentality where you don't want to get ostracized from society. You always have to conform. We still have that coding within ourselves. So that's okay. You have to discipline yourself out of that kind of thinking, okay? Again, if someone shares an opinion about you or a judgment about you, my advice will be sit with it, reflect on it. If it feels true for you and you're like, there's some aspect within you that kind of agrees with that or get kind of triggered by that opinion, it's usually a sign that you have some healing to do within yourself and something probably you need to work on. So in that case, that person was a messenger from a higher self, from your guides team, I don't care, giving you or letting you know that this is a certain aspect of you that you need to work on. But if you sit with it and you're like, that doesn't even make sense, that's not who I am, then let it go. Remember again, they're only projecting their internal judgments of themselves to you. So how they see the world is how they'll always see you. If they believe that the world is full of good people, they'll only see goodness in front of them. And sadly, that might mean that even if they encounter someone who doesn't have the best intentions, they'll always see the good in them, regardless. But remember that your external reality is always reflect who you are on the inside. Okay. So when someone is saying that to you, it's just more of a reflection of how they see the world. So have that in mind. Does this feel true for me? If it does not, let it go. Bless that person. I read a beautiful quote from this book I'm reading, Conversations with God, Neil Donald Walsh. And by the way, if you're watching this, that's a book that I will highly recommend because it literally has beautiful spiritual truths that you can start embodying within yourself. So one of the quotes was that all attack is always a call for help. I don't know if it was in those exact words, but that's basically the gist of it, right? All attack is a call for help. When someone is attacking you, okay, I've honestly never met anyone happy who wakes up and decides to make other people miserable. I've never met someone who's literally okay with themselves, happy and fulfilled, who wakes up and the entire mission in life is to make you miserable. It's impossible. But someone who's miserable with their life, with themselves, they want to spread that misery to everyone else. So sadly, if you're an easy target for them, guess what? They're going to spread that misery to you. So when they're attacking you, probably because they're in pain. So remember, if it feels like it's not true for you, then that message is not for you. That's usually a call for them, for you to recognize, hey, this person is struggling with this. They don't believe that there are people who exist who can actually be good. There are people who exist who can actually have integrity. They don't see the world in that way. So in that case, it's for you to just bless them, not to attack them back. So now the other aspect is when people get triggered, now they start fighting back. Oh, now you say this to me. And no need for drama. Recognize that this is someone who's crying out for help. And when someone needs help, is the best way to help them by attacking them back? Or is it just to send them love? Because they need the love more than you do. And trust me, they're attacking themselves way worse than anything that you can ever do to them. So you're attacking them is just what? Adding salt to the wound. They're already wounded within themselves. So don't attack them back. Just say, you know what? Thank you for your feedback. It doesn't resonate with me. You might say it in those words and leave them be. Okay, don't give them that opportunity to spread their misery to you. Remember, when people are miserable, they want everyone around them to make. I don't know why that is usually the case. And if you have an idea of why people tend to do that, please share in the comments down below. Why is it that miserable people always want to see misery around them? And these are the people you'll see celebrating other people when they fall down or when they make mistakes or when something bad is happening to other people. They're like, oh wow, you mean I'm not the only person being miserable? Which in my point of view, the saddest thing, the saddest way to experience your life when you're celebrating other people's misery because you're miserable yourself. Instead of actually doing the effort or doing whatever it takes to get yourself out of that state, you want other people to join you. And then what? When the people around you are miserable, then what? How does that actually help you transform your life? It just adds and compounds your misery. Remember, you will be in that vibrational misery. Why do you want to be there? You gotta want more for yourself. You gotta say, you know what, I deserve to be happy. And then start working on that so that you're not spreading that to other people. Okay. But I digress from what I was talking about. So again, remember, other people's opinions or judgments of you are most likely a reflection of their internal judgments of themselves. So don't take it personally if it doesn't resonate. If it resonates, that person was a messenger. Okay. That was a message from you, from your higher self, that you need to work on this. And once you recognize that, you thank them for that beautiful gift. Because sometimes the way we see ourselves, sometimes people tend to lie to themselves. Okay. We tend to lie to ourselves about who we actually are. So we have this beautiful version of ourselves in our mind, but other people don't see it. So in your mind, you might think you're the most amazing, most whatever person, but in reality, people don't interact with that part of you. So when someone is giving you feedback, it's cool because you have that blind spot about yourself. So it's never to attack you, it's always meant to help you out. Okay. So I hope you resonate with what I was sharing today. So let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section down below. Do subscribe to my channel and also click on the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any content I put out on a weekly basis. And I love to hear from you. I love to hear your perspective. Okay. And I did promise I was going to share about my services at the end of this live. So, how can quantum flow and soul element actually help impact your own growth, your own transformation, and your own healing journey? These two modalities have had such a huge impact on my life, and it is why I actually got certified in them because I've seen the transformation of life value in my life and also in the value in the life of the people that are actually being able to help with these beautiful modalities. So let me just share the screen with you so that you get to understand what these two beautiful modalities are. So soul alignment is basically, like I said, it's a beautiful modality that is based on working with the Akashic records. So hold up, let me actually bring that up. So it's a spiritual healing modality that is based on the understanding that each soul is unique. Each soul has its own individual, unique code of how they're supposed to be experiencing the physical reality. And this particular code will give you your particular soul level gift, will help you identify how you're supposed to be interacting with this physical reality by leveraging this gift so that you're creating more abundance for yourself in your life. Okay. So it actually involves accessing your particular or individual Akashic records, and it's about realigning you back to your original soul blueprint. So remember that how we were initially created, okay, is not who we are right now. You've lived very many lifetimes where you've made choices that went against who you were designed to be. Anytime you make choices or take actions that go against who you were designed to be, it only creates blocks and restrictions to this particular soul level gift. So for most people, they're not able to experience what those gifts are for themselves. Okay. So soul alignment is about, first of all, helping you identify your soul divine nature, giving you practical, useful information that can have a huge transformational value. Because once you have an idea of who you are, you're no longer looking at the world in the same way. You're no longer operating in the world in the same way. You're completely grounded into a level of acceptance of yourself and what contribution you have, in this physical reality. It's all about free will and choice through self-empowerment and taking personal responsibility. So one thing I always tell my clients is that once I give you the information about who you are and the choices that you've been making that have been taking you away from that, it's upon you now to take responsibility for the life that you've created thus far based on your actions. Remember that anything that you're experiencing right now, any kind of lack, any kind of scarcity, it's always a reflection of your past life choices or even present life, but it's always a reflection of the choices that you've made in the past. Okay, so once you get this awareness of this is where I'm actually going against my soul level divine nature, now it's on you to take that responsibility and start doing different things. Okay. It also involves with soul element a soul level healing through the Akashic record. So remember that anytime we make choices that have a huge impact on our soul, it's usually recorded on our blueprint. So with this particular reading, you get to heal this negative karmic experiences that you picked up from yourself. You get to release them, and now by releasing them, now you actually have a beautiful, beautiful access to your true divine nature, who you were supposed to be. But remember, you can only ground into this based on the choices that you make going forward after the reading, okay? But if you're curious about this, we're going to be sharing more on this in our session together, okay? So the second modality sorry, I'm supposed to say who this is for. So first of all, soul alignment will be a good fit for you if you're feeling stuck in repetitive negative patterns, whether in finances, relationship, or health. If you're going through life where you feel like regardless of whatever you try, you still keep on attracting the same level of circumstances, the same experiences, the same kind of people again and again. There's a reason for that. And it's usually tied to a past life choice that you made, and you're repeating the same patterns because you have no awareness of what actions you're taking that are contributing to those patterns. So it's soul alignment. If you're feeling stuck in those repetitive negative patterns, you can get the root cause of them and get to release them. So first of all, you will no longer have to be an energetic match to these patterns or to these people again. But again, also by taking responsibility and doing things differently, now you're able to step out of those patterns and create new empowering patterns for yourself. So again, if you struggle with self-identity or you feel disconnected from who you are, from your true purpose in life, soul alignment will be a beautiful, beautiful way for you to tap into who you actually are. If you're experiencing constant roadblocks and challenges that seem to have no clear cause or solution, solar element will be a good fit for you because it will help you get to the root cause of what these roadblocks and challenges are. If you have difficulty understanding why certain relationships or situations seem to repeat for yourself, again, solar element can help you experience what that is, or get to the root cause of that. You can, if you have like lack of clarity about what kind of direction, what kind of career you can tap into, by getting in touch with your soul level gift and who you were designed to be, it can help you forge a path for yourself. Okay. If you're experiencing low energy or motivation, feeling trapped in limiting patterns and all of that, you can actually benefit so much from a soul element reading. The second modality is called quantum flow. So quantum flow is an embodiment mechanism which has a transformational experience because it actually helps you rewire your nervous system and clear all those limiting beliefs and limiting patterns that are actually recorded within your conscious mind and may cause so many blockages or so many I want to say you might actually experience the negative effects of this in your physical, your emotional, your mental, your energetic, your spiritual well-being. Okay, so it's a beautiful practice that actually involves breathwork, sound, and movement to help you release trauma and emotional blockages that actually keep you from embodying inner peace, that actually keep you from actually developing a higher state of being in your mental, in your physical, in your energetic, in your emotional well-being. Okay, so if you're struggling with all of this before, and I'm going to be sharing more on this, on why quantum flow would be a good fit for you. If you have constant mental fog or difficulty concentrating, which leads you to low productivity, probably in your workplace or whatever kind of work you do. If you're struggling with chronic anxiety and stress, quantum flow will be a great way for you to tap into that inner calm and inner peace within yourself. If you're feeling physically and emotionally drained and unable to relax or achieve inner peace, quantum flow will be a great fit for you. If you're experiencing any kind of chronic pain or physical tension, quantum flow can actually help with that in the sense that it will help you accelerate the healing of that. Remember, if you have all these deep-seated trauma and wounds and blockages within you, they may actually manifest in form of now physical pain and all of that. So with quantum flow, it's once you start releasing these blockages, then eventually your physical well-being will be able to tap into higher physical well-being. So quantum flow will be a good fit for you. If you have difficulty controlling your emotions, if you have feeling like you're disconnected from a higher purpose, remember that all these blockages within your unconscious mind actually block you from even receiving high level intuition from your higher self or from your divine guidance. Okay. So with quantum flow, once you release those blockages within you, then you become a clear channel, whatever information from your higher self or your divine guidance that you can tap into, to help you now find the right path for you. So if you're struggling with tapping into that, remember you have to also release, not just on a mind level, but you also have to release on a physical level, which is what quantum flow does. So again, struggling with unresolved trauma, if you're repeatedly falling into limiting beliefs and negative self-harm, which is what we were talking about in this live, quantum flow will be a good fit for you, okay? So I'm gonna end this video. If you wanna connect with me and go deeper with this, I invite you to scan the QR code and book a session with me. You can book a discovery call and then we'll get to identify if any of these two modalities are a good fit for you or not, or you can check the link down below in the description box and connect with me. You can also connect with me on Facebook or Instagram if that feels good for you and just message me. And I will get back to you with, booking a session with me. So thank you so much for tuning in. Again, don't forget to subscribe and also click on the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any time I share out my content. So thank you so much for tuning in and make sure that you're growing and evolving the next week. I will catch you on the next video.